What's good, everyone? Welcome back to NBA Apex. I know it's been a minute, but the thing that I love about having a second channel is you don't feel that pressure to upload consistently, especially if you don't have content that you think is good. And I've had a couple videos in the drafts, but I just felt like they weren't what I wanted them to be. So I can upload whenever I want. So that's why it's been a while. But welcome to the channel if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here already. I appreciate you. I wanted to start with my favorite team, the Chicago Bulls, and the value of one man, the bald mamba, Alex Caruso. Now, Caruso was out for, I think he played about 5 games in December, and he's been in and out of the lineup with injury and COVID. He was out for a significant time. He hadn't played since before Christmas until last night. The Bulls stopped a 4-game losing streak. And a lot of that has to do with the impact of Caruso. Now, when we talk about someone like Alex Caruso, the analytical nerds have mixed feelings on him, right? Because he's not super efficient always from the field. But the things that he does out there, man, the eye test, the pestering, his plus minus is off the charts. Last night, he led the team in plus minus with plus 18. He was playing defense on Mobley, who's been one of the most impressive rookies this year. A lot of people have him pegged as Rookie of the Year. I personally give that to Scotty Barnes, but I live in Canada, so maybe I'm biased. Alex Caruso is out there diving for loose balls. He was taking charges, and this is a man who just came back with a leg injury. He was on a minutes restriction. I think he ended up logging around 28 minutes last night. I can check real quick. Not even. He played 23-ish minutes last night. Super impressive stuff from the guy, but I wanted to talk about the value of Caruso's impact as well as his contract. Now, the Bulls have been one of the best teams of the league all season long, and they were the first seed for about a month or so. And then we went on a 4-game losing streak, which was not fun. But that had to do with a lot of players in and out of the lineup. Lonzo Ball recently was diagnosed with a partial tear in his meniscus, and that sucks. But Lonzo and Alex Caruso have been like this two-headed defensive monster for Chicago over the last, really all season, which I knew. A lot of people kind of questioned the Bulls defense going into the preseason because of the offseason moves, but I got to watch Caruso play a lot, especially in the bubble, because I was, watching Jimmy and the Heat intensely. So I saw how Caruso moved out there whenever he stepped up for Avery Bradley, who stayed home. And Caruso's no joke with defense, but neither is Lonzo. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of undermine how good Lonzo Ball is. He's not super flashy with the points scored. He can go 6 for 10 or 7 for 14 from 3 in any given game, but what sets him apart is the defense, and I think that paired with Caruso's defense is the reason why Chicago went on that 9-game winning streak, although Caruso did miss some of those games, and then immediately went on a 4-game skid after both of the players were out of the lineup. And you got to see, I think it was Stacey King mentioned last night on the broadcast that Caruso makes the refs call offensive fouls all the time. And he doesn't even do it by flopping necessarily. He's not afraid to take contact. He'll run full head of steam into the screens. He'll do whatever he needs. He's not a dirty player. He's just super physical. And that's something that the Bulls have lacked. Really that energy with Caruso and Javonte Green both missing significant time recently. That attributes a lot to not just the losing, but overall the energy has been really bad over the last several games. Even in some of those games that we were winning, like that game against Orlando at the end of our win streak, we could have used Caruso for that because it was like a 4-point game in the end. And there's no business, Orlando has no business sticking around with Chicago, the number 1 seed, for a whole game. They're tanking right now. They shouldn't be that good. So as for Caruso's actual contract, let me pull it up here. I think he got 9 per over 4 years. Yeah, roughly 9 per over 4 years. 8.6 this year, 9 next year, 9.4, 9.8. Up until 2025. And honestly, the way that he's played the first half of the season, I hope he's a Bull for the rest of his career. He just fits what AK and Eversley are building with his culture. Great chemistry guy. And I just want to take a second to thank AK and Eversleep for all that they've done. It's crazy how Chicago went from one of the worst morale teams, worst morale fan bases, with Jim Boylan as our coach, with the terrible duo that we had. I'm not even going to say their names in the front office. We had the Felicio contract, the worst contract as far as like small contracts, the worst one in the freaking NBA for 4 years. That's gone now. And we brought in maybe the two best value contracts in the whole offseason between DeRozan and Caruso. I know DeRozan got paid a lot, but he has proven, at least the first half of the first year, that 3-year contract, that he's more than worth it. He's been an MVP candidate, for crying out loud, for a lot of the season. Maybe lower tier, but he's still there. He was even struggling the last several games. Last night he had another 30-piece. I think 14 for 24 shooting, and really took over whenever he needed to between him and Vooch. But he's still averaging over 26 per game. And Caruso, man, the value, like, it's crazy to me that the Lakers didn't even want to come close to matching Chicago's offer. They gave him 2 for 15, right? Is that what he said on the Reddit podcast? That's insane, man. And if the Lakers are missing anybody that they've had over the last few years, it's not Kuzma, it's Caruso. Caruso he has that championship DNA in him. He is the reason why we're doing so well. And I just wanted to show some love with him. I know a lot of people kind of memed Caruso for the first several years of his career, calling him the GOAT, the white mamba, whatever. Honestly, man, watching him play, it's hard not to get hyped up over a player of that caliber. So I just wanted to come on here and say how important Caruso is to the Chicago Bulls. Anybody who you can find like him in the league, I think he's kind of like a lower tier Kyle Lowry type leader. It's so important. You can see between how the Heat were last year to how they are this year, almost tied with the Bulls for the first seed. A lot of that has to do with how Lowry plays, the charges he takes, the hustle, the defense, and Caruso's a lot like that, just on a smaller contract. So shout out to Caruso. If you're a Caruso stan, drop some GOAT comments below. I'll probably make a video about the Lonzo injury soon if you want to see that. If not, then feel free to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.